Okay, we're to hive number 1, and you see I have a nuke sitting over here. It's got empty frames in it ready to go. This hive is extremely heavy, and my guess is it's full all the way through. The sheer number of bees on the entrance and the amount of activity going on here means this hive is really banging. Earlier today there were bees almost bearding in a huge amount right here, which is almost pre-swarm. I'm wondering if I'm going to find queen cells in here, and my expectation is I could probably do some splits. That's why I have the equipment set up. Just an incredible amount of work going on here at the entrance. In fact, they chewed all the holes open on the tape that I have. Given what they have, I could pull this tape since it's such a strong colony. I'll let them use the whole entrance. They wanted it that way anyway. I have to tell you, I'm a smidge nervous about going in this hive. It's 5 o'clock at night. You're supposed to do this during the middle of the day. Although it's really warm, there's a lot of activity, but I don't know if the foragers are back or what's going on.
How about a veil?
A veil? Nah. Not unless they're not happy with me. Got bees up in the top. Quite a bit of propolis. There's a brand new bee right here, downy looking, soft and fuzzy, not hardened even. Every frame full of bees, loaded with honey all the way through the outside. This box is just bursting with bees. So it looks like that's the brood chamber. Let's see if there's any brood in this middle box. Going for the second frame so I don't roll bees. Nectar and pollen stored in here. Make sure the queen's not on here. She's not. They're here. I was talking about fresh new bees. Look at this one right here. It's still tiny, small. It has its little fuzzies. It hasn't even hardened yet. See a little nectar and pollen and an area for brood. Full brood cell. Some capped. Full brood. Because it's capped, I don't expect to find a queen here. Just looking for any queen cells. Don't see any. Again, another capped brood. This right here was a brood chamber. Much of the brood has emerged. You can kind of see what that looks like. Same on this side. So all this brood will emerge and then the queen will come right back here. No sign of queen cells. And here I have pollen stored on the outside. So this is the outside of the brood chamber and there's nothing else going on next to it. And this would be a nectar frame if it had anything in it. And it has some nectar, just light, and that's it. So when I checked this box 2 weeks ago, the brood chamber was here coming out of spring. And it was capped brood, and that doesn't surprise me that it's moved up into the top box is my guess. Now the interesting part, let me go look and see if there's any brood chamber in the bottom box. In 2 weeks when I come back here, if she's laying in here and I have day-old eggs, I'm going to pull this box, this medium, off and do a walk-away split with it, and I'm going to create a medium hive out of it. That's my goal. That's why I have a medium between these two. Box is loaded with bees across the top of the cover, or top of the frames. I have one banging on me. I'm looking for queen cells down here. Let's see what we have going on. Going after number 3. You got capped honey. Old capped honey. A lot of bees in the air. Capped honey on a partially built out frame. I got nectar and pollen stored in the top of this frame, sitting underneath where the brood chamber was. And a lot of new bees on this. So there's really nothing going on here at this juncture. This is just a storage area for them at this point. I see one thing I'm going to change. They built out all my frames that I wanted them to build out, except this last one on the outside. They've started to build it, but they haven't. So I'm going to move it in the middle and hope that they'll build it for me.
You build it, they will come.
Nice. If you look, you can get a sense of how many bees are in this box. And I can sense they're getting a little feisty. So I'm going to close them up here. Now I wanted to see if I had any queen cells. If I have queen cells, chances are they're hanging off the bottom of this box. So let me take a look and see if I can find out. I do not see any queen cells here. Oh, I see a lot of brood. It's worth taking a look, so let's take a look. I'm just going to go grab like frame number 4 is what I want to see. So I'll move 3 out of the way and I'll go take a look at 4. This is again one of those new frames on the outside. I'm hoping they'll build out, and you can see they're doing some build out. So actually I think I'm going to take this frame. I'll make sure the queen's not on it, but there are literally 1 day old eggs here. Not even. They look like they were just laid. And there's larvae all the way through this one. If I put this in my nuke, I'm going to have a new hive in a couple weeks. So let me go ahead and take it. I'm going to need some bees though. Wow. There's my queen right here, walking around. But I also noticed that I have a hatch queen cell right here. So I'm certainly not going to take this frame. Actually, it looks like a queen cup, but it's not. So queen is on 3. Let me see what I got on 4. Well, actually, she was on 4. I took 3. I've got brood hatching out and nurse bees. No queen cells. I'm going to take that frame. Ouch. them get a little testy, so I put on my veil. It's the wrong time to be doing this, but I got to work all week. I'm not going to be home. It's warm enough to open them up. I'm going in. Okay, I have a full brood frame here. Another one on this side. Looking for queen cells, don't see any. These are all nurse bees. I'm going to shake them in my box. I need nurse bees in here. They're not terribly happy with me, so it's time to button them up here. So here I have pollen and nectar. And as you remember, the queen is over here. So this is another frame I'm going to take for my nuke. Okay, so I pulled a frame of eggs, a frame of nectar, and a frame of brood. The brood will become the workforce over there when it hatches. I pulled a frame with nurse bees and I shook it in. And I pulled a frame with nectar and pollen so that they'll have something to eat. What I'll probably do is I have 2 open frames in there. They're not drawn. I'm going to go grab some drawn comb out of one of my other hives and put it in there so that they have something to work with. The forager bees that were in this box will leave and come back. The nurse bees will stay on the brood. That's interesting. That's a brand new bee. And she's dragging her stinger. Not sure what happened to her here. The new frames I put in here, they'll build wax on them. It'll relieve some of the congestion and hopefully they're not going to swarm on me. And with all the nectar and whatever, we're right in the middle of the nectar flow here. This hive should recover fine. They got all these boxes to work with. They got plenty of brood that's going to hatch. They'll have a huge workforce. This hive is going to be okay. Let me close it up and we'll be done. And I have to say, just in the nick of time, they are not particularly happy here. This top box has a funny twist to it. So no queen cells. That's interesting. Or I saw one queen cell, but it did not look like it was a hatched one. It was just a practice cup or something. I'm going to do one more thing here with my frame with eggs in it. I'm probably going to need some more bees in this box, but I have eggs right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and knock the floor out of a couple of these and say, make some queens for me, guys. So what I'll do is just go right here and I'll pull this down. And all the eggs in those cells will suddenly look like a place where you could potentially harvest queens. So that egg, that egg, that egg, that egg, which are in there, will become targets to become queens, and we'll see if they'll build queen cells out of there. Now I have eggs over here on this side. I'm going to do the same thing. So all I did was pull the floor out, and that part up there will become a roof where they could build a queen cell down. Okay, let me put them back. Yep, I deserved that one. Pinched that bee and she jumped right up there and got me. And now I smell like queen, or I smell like alarm pheromone. I'm going to need some more bees in here, so I'm glad I came back to take a peek. Doesn't seem like enough. 3 stings, 1 in the ear, 1 in the hand, 1 in the arm, all from working the bees late. Don't do that. Dumb, 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 dumb. So pretty confident I recently said don't inspect your bees at night. Got stung 3 times this outing. 1 on the ear, 1 on the hand, 1 on the arm. The sun is going down. It's twilight almost. And all of my bees are in shade because the sun is that way, and at the end of the day they go behind the tree lines. It's one of those things where the foragers are back and the bees are not happy at night to be inspected in the dark. It's still warm enough, that's not the problem, but do inspect your bees in the middle of the day. I'll live. A couple stings is not the end of the world, but I don't like to be stung no more than anybody else. I could hear and knew that the bees were going to get that way, and I just wanted to finish up. I probably should have just buttoned up, but I had already pulled part of a nuke out, so had to finish the job. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Hi, Julia. You come out to see Tiger?